Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Bella, and at the end of my first year, I made a video on me reflecting on my first year of university at Trinity College, Uoft. And what's funny about that video is I made it well before the year was even over, but I had already felt like I had lived so much. But baby Bella had no idea what was to come. So in this video, I wanted to do a little reflection of my first 2 years of university at Uoft. I feel like I have a lot to say on this subject because I have changed and grown so much as a person since I started university, but also since I filmed that first video. And I think I have some good advice for you guys in my little blue book. And I also made a big ass doc on my iPad. So I think we should maybe get into it. Yeah. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown of maybe like the biggest life events that happened in the last 2 and a bit years. So just for some context, I started university when I was 17. I started in September of 2021. It is now November 2023. So I recently just turned 20. So I have been 17, 18, 19, and now I'm 20 at university. My first comment on that would be, I think if you are 17 or even 18 and you feel too young to be in a university environment, I think you should consider a year off. Now, for me personally, just based off of my family situation and kind of like how my town is, if I had taken the year off, I think that I would have been severely depressed and unhappy. But if you are a different person than me and have a different environment than that, I would consider maybe not going to university that young, because I, like I said, came at 17, but also the pandemic had happened. And really, I had the social skills of like a 15-year-old, and I had never drank, partied, done anything crazy in high school because my high school experience stopped in grade 11. And so I arrived here, and there were a lot of people who took a gap year. And because I fall like in the younger category of my grade year, some of these people that I was meeting were like 2 years older than me. And they have already lived so much and had so much life experience that I didn't have. And academically wise, I didn't notice like an age difference, but I did notice it socially. There were definitely a lot of people who were just like more capable socially than I was. I just did not have that experience. And I'm already an introverted person, so that like made it even worse for me. So I would really say that if you feel like you are not ready to go to university, maybe consider taking a gap year, growing up a bit, working, saving money, or go abroad, have a gap year. That's fun. Whatever is for you. It's not that I regret not doing that, because I did what was right for me at the time, but I do recognize that a lot of things that happened to me in first year could have been avoided if I had been just older and more mature. Also, in your first year, in your second year, I would warn against getting into super serious relationships, especially with people who are older than you. In my first year, I had met a person who was 2 years older than me, and he had a very different life than me and had already had multiple relationships and things. And I had never had any sort of relationship. And I definitely think that if I had been more mature and had more experience, it wouldn't have ended so badly for me. And there's an Olivia Rodrigo song, and it's like, one of my favorite lyrics from it is, "Girls your age know better." And I really think that that is something you should bear in mind if you consider getting into a relationship with someone who's older than you or do anything like that. Sometimes I do think it's best to kind of stick to your age group, or stick to people with your level of experience. Unless you're like able and like capable of doing it, but especially if you were like me, a bit innocent, a bit naive, I'm quite a romantic, like those sort of characteristics, I would stay away from those who are older than you and who have already experienced things that you haven't, and people just navigate the world differently than you when they are more mature than you and have had different life experiences than you. So bear that in mind. Yeah. Okay. A word on friend groups. Now, by the end of first year, you probably have established like a friend group, or probably have like a couple of close friends or something like that. That seems to be like the experience with the people that I know. I know that doesn't speak for everybody's experience, but yeah, I would say as my biggest tip of advice, friend groups are fluid and can be messy, and I would expect them to change. My friend group changed a lot. What I ended with in first year, I do not have now in the slightest. And that's okay, because people change and that's to be expected. But I would also say my biggest tip is, if you end up in that situation where you have this big friend group and you have a couple of close friends and you're like, and you have a partner, or you don't, whatever you want, and you're like, why would I need to make any more friends? Why would I need anything else or anyone else? I think that that's kind of a naive mindset to have, and I wish I hadn't had that in second year, because I stopped trying to make new friends and I stopped trying to meet new people, because I was like, I have everything I've ever wanted and anything I could ever need from the friends that are already in my life. So definitely keep trying to make those new friendships and keep building on the friendships that you already have, because you're going to be different people from when you met in first year than when you are in second year or third year or even fourth year. Keep building those friendships, keep making new friends. Yeah, and also stay involved. I think in first year, I was kind of like, oh my God, I need to get involved in all these different things. And then in second year, I was like, I'm like, I don't really, I already, No, you need to get even more involved. Every year, you should be getting more and more involved in new things, because that's how you're gonna meet new people, make professional connections. I hate to say that, but it's a reality. It's how you're gonna grow as a person. It's gonna open up some academic windows for you. And yeah, for me personally, the best thing I've ever done for myself is get out of my shell and go out into the world. Go to pub nights that your student unions throw, join clubs, join intramural sports teams. Not everything you have to do has to be for the LinkedIn. LinkedIn culture is kind of a big thing at Trin, so I don't know about the other colleges, but yeah, get involved. In my third year, I'm more involved than I ever have been, and sometimes it is overwhelming, and maybe I'm like, oh, did I get too much on my plate? But it's also making me feel like fulfilled and like I'm moving forward, instead of just staying as something that is like a static being who isn't growing herself and isn't getting prepared for adulthood or for grad school or anything like that. Expect that by second year, people are going to be talking about internships, and don't be like me, know what those are. There's no culture for that in my town or with the people I know, and neither of my parents did things like that. Thankfully, my friends educated me. I was not in the position to get an internship where I would be unpaid, but there are going to be people around you who are in that position, or maybe you're in that position. You don't need to do a paid internship. And so that kind of opens your options more, because you can do a lot more online stuff with like bigger companies or bigger organizations like the UN or UNICEF. But yeah, people are going to be building their LinkedIn and looking ahead to the future, to grad school, to working after uni, all this stuff. A lot of my friends are in social sciences, and so for social sciences and humanities, that's like a really big thing. Like, you can't just graduate with a BA. You need to have more than that. It's very difficult to get a job with one degree and no work experience, from what I've seen. So I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Like, just get involved with things at U of T, find organizations you care about, and work and get internships. Yeah, I'm definitely around a lot of ambitious people, and that has made me more ambitious. And that's what I'm saying with friends too. Like, surround yourself with people who are gonna build you up, who are gonna inspire you and give you some bursts of ambition and things like that. And then in terms of like how difficult second year actually was for me, academically, it wasn't that much harder than first year, but there are more things to do, and that's just for humanities. I study history and European affairs, and things just like, you just get more readings, more essays, more assignments, and then it's also a bit harder because you're involved with more things and things like that. In my first year, my education was kind of disrupted because of the pandemic, and a lot of the time we had classes online. First year is kind of a blur, TBH. Yeah, COVID kind of messed up my first year, highest of keys. Yeah, I think academically it's definitely doable, and I think people find third year to be the most difficult because people are now moving out, having jobs, having like different things that they now need to do on top of just being a uni student, and that grows with every year. So be prepared for that reality, I would say, because I kind of wasn't prepared for that. As you grow older and mature more, it's also better to like refine what you want to do. If you joined 3 clubs in your first year, but you're like, nah, I really had a passion for Model UN, and I didn't really like being part of the student union, and I didn't really like this was kind of a waste of my time. Cut those off. Your time is valuable, but also a big thing I would say is don't be afraid of change, because so much changes between your first year and second year, and your second year to third year, and change is just kind of a reality of life. And I am very resistant to change, and I really struggle with change. I think just like it happens, and it's often for the better, and I'm better off now where I am now than where I was at a lot of points in my first year, and even some points in my second year. Academically, it's pretty awesome in your second year because now you're in your actual program, because at the end of first year you apply into the programs that you want. So full disclosure, I actually did get rejected from the program, well, one of the programs that I wanted to get into, and that was a very humbling experience. And rejection is redirection. I found my major, European affairs, and I applied to that, and now it's one of my majors. I didn't even know that existed when I first came to uoft, and it became my major, and it's really awesome. And it's actually, I think it suits me better than the major I got rejected from. But you could all just be like, oh, she's just saying that just because she got rejected. But honestly, I think it's the case. I'm losing all of my sunlight. Lol. But yeah, it's really awesome because now that you're actually in your program, you're taking, like, every year your courses are gonna become more and more pointed or like directed towards like something specific, which is pretty fun and fresh. In my first year, for example, I took like history of war or something. It was called something like that. And now I'm taking something called Vietnam at War. Definitely use your summers wisely with work, either to save money or to gain experience for LinkedIn. Rejuvenate yourself mentally for the school year because university is very taxing. Oh, there goes the sun. You can also use it to do summer school and get ahead in credits or catch up with credits. What else? You can do study abroad. That's what I did. That was amazing, an amazing experience. Your summers are for the taking. They're 4 months long, which is very long for summer. I'm used to having 2-month summers back in elementary school and high school. So 4 months, I find it to be too long, but some people like it because it gives them the opportunity to do so many things. So definitely take advantage of them. Well, there's a plan. University is going to be probably the most transformative phase of your life, and people will leave and people will come. You will fail and you will succeed, and then you will fail again. You will learn a lot of things about yourself, and you're gonna learn a lot of things about other people as well. One of the best things that I've ever done is just shut my mouth and let people tell their stories. You're gonna learn a lot, and it's gonna open up your heart and open up your mind as well. So yeah. Also, here are some of my biggest mistakes from first year. I stayed at home too much. I wasn't confident was the biggest thing. And I stayed home in my bed in the dorm. I should have been out. I should have been on the prowl. I would say like the best thing you can do for yourself is to just leave your room, because you're like, that's one thing I accomplished already. I left my room and went somewhere else. Like, wow, nothing is gonna happen if you stand still. You gotta just move forward, move forward, move forward. Another big mistake I made, this was more academic, I did not participate in tutorials. Don't ask me why. For the first time in my life, I was too scared to talk in class. And this is really humbling to admit. I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot compared to everyone else. You're not, I promise you. The people who you think are like the smartest people in the world are literally human beings. Because for me, the stupidest part of this all is that I would do every single reading and I had things to say. And instead of opening my mouth and being afraid of being seen as some idiot who didn't know what the hell she was talking about, I would write down the things that I wish I were saying in tutorial. And my grade suffered for that. That's the dumbest thing ever. So in second year, I was like, Bella, that's not happening. In my second year, I actually contributed to tutorials. I would say don't lower your standards for the type of relationship you want. A big mistake I made in first year, I don't know if I talked about it already, maybe I did. A big mistake I made was getting involved with somebody who didn't want a serious relationship, and that was literally the only thing I wanted from them. That was like the only thing. Like every night I'm like, oh, when will he want me? People were like, Bella, you deserve better than this. But I was like, no, like he actually wants me. Look, he said this. Words mean nothing until they actually change. And it's not your job to change them. They should be changing for themselves. If they don't want you, you're not gonna change their mind. Believe me, they may tell you that they've changed your mind, but they don't. You're not gonna change someone. They have to change for themselves. I lowered my standards and I accepted things that I shouldn't have. And you're just gonna learn that as you get older. You're gonna be like, okay, I don't tolerate that anymore. And guess what? One day you will meet someone who actually wants you and who won't play with you. This goes for guys and girls, whoever's watching, and don't settle for less if you want more. If he wanted to, he would. 90% of the time, that is the case. If he wanted to, he would. I also regret not getting more involved. I just didn't do enough in first year. And I know I should give myself more grace because that was like a really big thing, like a really big shift in my life. But I should have done more. I was in my shell too much, and I don't know. I'm not anymore. This is the advice for second year me. So I've already gone through advice for first year me. This is advice for second year me. Do not beg for love or friendship. Let them go. If people don't want to be in your life, then let them leave. This applies to friends and relationships. Don't waste your energy talking shit, taking shit, or being upset about circumstances that you cannot change. It is what it is. Onwards and forwards. I love what I wrote. This is so like okay, queen. I also wrote, you won't get out of a rut or grow if you stay comfortable. You must put yourself out there. I was really on something when I was like writing this up. If you feel overwhelmed, doing nothing is the worst thing you can do. You're being stuck in a loop of inaction and you need to do something. Focus on your courses and not bullshit. You're not a child anymore. It is time to learn how to process things properly. This is a big, big thing. I warn you away from people who continue to act like children, okay? Guys, we're getting older and it's not acceptable for some coping mechanisms that people use, okay? We're getting older and life is more serious, and people also need to accept when they need therapy. There are so many people who need some therapy and are like, I don't believe in therapy. Guys, we're too old to say things like that. We're too old, okay? And have fun. Make mistakes. Kiss the boy/girl. Go on a walk with your friends. Take that trip. Study abroad. Talk to your prof, and not just about courses. Talk about them. Ask them questions. And just do things. Just fill your days. Fill your nights. Fill your weekends. Get help if things really feel beyond you. I would have benefited from that in first year. Also, everyone is struggling, and be kind to yourself and others. You do not know what other people are going through. I learned that. I have a very close friend. In first year, we were not close, but I made mistakes and I judged him very harshly when I didn't know him at all. And it's taken years to get to know each other better. And I realized how much harm I did by not being like kinder and giving him like the benefit of the doubt, because I judged him like very quickly. So yeah. And also, you will grow around it. The bad things that happen to you, you will carry with you, but you will learn how to make them a part of you, not your entirety. You will grow as a person. and they will add character. I don't know. I feel like the bad things that have happened to me have definitely added some character. Also, more things. It isn't always that deep. This is something that my friends and I say all the time. I'm like, girl, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It means it's not always that serious. Maybe you're reading too much into things. Maybe this is affecting you more than it should. Things like that, you know? Also, time will pass whether you focus on it or not. Basically what I mean by that is like, you can be in a moment and be sad that it's happening and like in an hour it'll be done, things like that, or you can enjoy it to the fullest and be sad afterwards. Different things will come to different people more easily. My biggest advice is enjoy it while it lasts, because it won't last forever. Love with your whole heart, even though it can be hard for a lot of people I know. Vulnerability is very difficult. And I also think vulnerability is something that is earned. So I should have known that in first year. I gave it away. I was very vulnerable with like a lot of people because I thought that that was the only way I would get them to accept me. But vulnerability is not the only way that you can become friends with someone. And you don't always have to be vulnerable with people if that is not what you're comfortable with. Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. And this is a shout out from third year me to baby first year me, who started her little YouTube channel. It's so much fun, and that video I made, my first year reflections. I love how I'm wearing red in both of them. I think I kind of did that for show. My life is so different from when I first filmed that video. I can't even get into it, guys. I am a different person inside and out, and so will you. You will grow and change so much at university. And I'm excited for you guys, even though I don't know you. So yeah. Goodbye, guys. I will make another video at the end of this year or the start of next, because that's crazy, isn't it? How quickly time is going by. Okay. Bye, guys.